Hi, Robert. Are you there?
I'm here, Dot. How are you doing?
All right. Wow, you look like a little bit sunburned. What happened?
Oh man, I got toasted bad. We had a day off. The show in Philly is tomorrow, but I was off today and I got together with some old friends. A friend of mine from school back in the 60s was playing in a 16-piece funk band at Penn's Landing, part of a big I'm pretty sure it was Philadelphia Teamsters local festivities or something like that. But so I was out in the middle of the day getting cooked, and then we went to another musician's house for barbecue and had a great time there. The sun wasn't so bad there, but anyway, it was a relaxing day off and a nice hang, getting together with old friends, meeting some new friends, their families, their people, their circle, and all that. So a good way to spend the day off.
So the band played. There was a band there, and you were in the
There was a
band.
band there. Yeah, I wasn't in the band, but some friends of mine that I've done shows with in the past in different situations were in the band,
Oh,
and then we went to another guy that's from that same circle of people that I actually brought up into a circle of people that I work with in Canada, and I blended those two groups, and they started pulling up more of these Philly horn players and stuff like that. So it's all been good.
that sounds fun. See, typical musician, even on their day off, they want to play music.
Or be around it or
Yeah.
listen to it or yeah, yeah.
hmm So you look relaxed. That's good. I guess you've been having.
I am, man. I'm about to fall over actually from a long day. We played badminton. Actually, we played nighttime badminton with the shuttlecock that flashes, that has a light inside.
That
But
was
it's
fun.
the visual impact of the shuttlecock was not what it should be. It was too hard to follow. We were having troubles. We were all
But
having
good. You're getting
troubles.
you're getting some exercise on tour.
Absolutely. So I was out in the open air, out in the sun, and just fabulous to be able to do that again finally after all this time under basically submerged for a year and a half or so.
Yeah, yeah. You're out in the sun playing music. This is like what
Yep.
we've been longing for.
Yes, indeed.
Today's September 6th, 2021. Tomorrow your show is in Philly, you said?
It's in Philly at the Mann Center, which is an outdoor venue. And I've played there before. I played there in '83 on the Bette Midler tour. In fact, we started at the Man in Philly
Oh,
that summer tour. I toured with her in '82, and then '83 I took over as MD, and we toured again that summer. I haven't been back in a long time, and we played a venue that I used to play back in all the heavy touring '80s days as well, in on the Garden State Freeway, not that far from you. It used to be called Garden State Art Center. That's what I know it as, but now they call it PNC Bank
oh
Center
yeah.
or something like that. Yeah,
Holmdel. Holmdel.
Homedale, Homedale. It's right off the freeway. So we did
Yeah,
that a few days ago.
I wish I
Yeah, fun to
I
get
wish I
back
would have
to.
made that show, but like I got flooded in, so I couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the pictures I was seeing of these floods that hit Philly.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And
When I
Jersey,
was
yeah.
living there, never
Crazy.
had anything like that. Not even close to that.
Yeah. They got to
Crazy.
people have to build infrastructure better so that there isn't such floods.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
That would be good. That would be good.
So I'm going to try to come to the Manhattan show and say hi, and but the fans are just buzzing. They're loving the tour, and I just spoke to Ike Willis, and he said that you and Ray White called him and invited
Yes.
him to play to sit in for one song in the LA show, which sounds really exciting.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to happen. It'll be nice to play in a more intimate setting and uh, experience that kind of different interaction with the audience. It's a lot different from playing in a big amphitheater to playing in a club where somebody's behind you and they could you could hand them a drink if you wanted to.
But wait, what kind of club are you talking about out in LA?
Well, it's the Baked Potato. It's a long, long time running, very well known, basically jazz club out there in the valley. right before the valley drops down into Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's been there forever. We played there maybe 2 years ago. We play there every now and then and just really, really enjoy it. They treat us really well there. The fans love it because it is intimate and we have a ball. So yeah, getting Ike up for a tune might be happening there.
That's given him something to, work towards.
Yes, exactly. And the last time when Ray and I called him a few days ago, and he sounded way better. I mean, way better.
Yes.
Back, some months ago, he was just like,
Declining.
yeah, yeah. And
Horrible. I
he
know.
sounds much stronger now. Just sounds stronger.
Well, I'm going to ask ahead of time if, for that baked potato show, Patrice Zappa, she's just not that far away. Maybe she could get a
Right.
ticket.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be great too. She lost Nolan and
Yeah. She
yeah.
needs some cheering up.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll get her to come out. That'd be great.
Frank's sister at the show, that would be
Of course. Yeah.
something to look
Cool.
forward to. So I have
Cool.
a fan question. I don't know if you're up for it or not.
Okay. I can manage. Again, it was a hard day. I relaxed hard today.
You look like a baked potato.
I am a baked potato, man. I'm just like the bacon burger.
No, no, it's not as the lighting is washing it out. It doesn't look as bad as it probably feels, but
Okay, yeah, it feels pretty warm.
so Philip Lazavesky, wait, I can't even say it. Lazevsky, Philip Lazevsky, he said for Robert, Robert, you answered. Okay, so first he asked Ike. It's kind of a connected. I know Frank used to ask folks, what's something you do that's fantastic? I also happened to read that Roberts responded to that question by walking across the room on his hands. Okay. So then for Robert, how has it been finally being back on tour after all this madness? P.S. I'm beyond thrilled to finally see you perform live and your magic at the PNC.
Oh, great, great.
Well, he
Okay,
saw your show, but
cool. Yeah.
he wants
Yeah,
to
well, I
get
mean,
real.
it's just been a wonderful thing to happen in so many ways and on so many levels. It's been amazing. I mean, the two bands get along really, really well together. We enjoy each other's company. We enjoy each other's music. In fact, we had the drummer a couple of times now has come up and joined us to play on one of our songs. And when we play, I think the Beacon and maybe DC as well. We may well be doing that again and possibly more, but I'm not gonna make any promises I can't keep. So we don't want to do that. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's been great, and getting out and playing live for people who are right there and they see what you're doing and they get excited and it's fun to see them smile and they're having fun seeing us smile and love what
yeah,
we do and yeah, it's great.
that's where you belong on stage. So it's
Yes, yes, with these people. We've been having a blast with each other too. I mean, just within the band.
that's
In,
great.
yeah, in addition to interacting with King Crimson and their crew and all. And I have been known for many years for doing this. I brought two gloves and a hardball. And I actually threw with Joe once. Joe and I threw together. Joe
On
Travers.
stage?
No, 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 not on stage, but we would find a place on the grounds.
Oh,
Most
okay.
of the venues we're playing are not like the Beacon Theater. They're what's called outdoor sheds. We call them sheds.
Okay.
They're partially covered, and then there's lawn up in the back, and it's like built in a natural amphitheater kind of a thing normally. But they're open air, but covered, you know, like a carport, a giant carport for people at a concert. So it's pleasant. You get a nice breeze going through, and with the cover, people don't get rained on, and so we've been using the same sound guy has been mixing the house sound for us as has done King Crimson,
Oh,
which
nice.
is great because he knows the system cold and is brilliant at what he does. So we've really enjoyed that, and I've had so many people come up and say, "Man, that not only you played your butts off, but the sound was incredible." So
Oh, I'd love to
yeah.
have a soundboard of that.
Oh yeah, and we've been getting standing ovations and just having a ball. So
I really want to see the New York show. I hope I can.
yeah.
Steven Seibel or Seibel said he just wanted to say hi and he loves you and he can't wait to see the New York show. Do you
Oh,
know
cool.
him?
He's coming to New York.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot
Okay.
of people are. They're excited, you know. It's like a they're gagging for it.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the first of the final three. We go New York, Boston, DC, home.
Oh, yeah. And then you're just doing that one-off show in LA.
We're doing 4 nights, finishing on Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st.
maybe I'll come out for that one and I'll help
Hey.
please get in. Wow.
But yeah, it's a wonderful venue. They love us there, and we have a great time.
So when you do the LA show, are you going to do more than 10 songs? Because I've been told you're only
Oh
doing.
yeah, we don't have that restriction, and in fact, we're going to have to put our heads together and decide what we're going to add, because the current restriction of the approximately 45 to 50, 55 minutes maybe, that set restriction doesn't exist at Baked Potato. We'll have to time it out so that we have two different shows,
Right.
because they invariably they turn the house. We'll do a show, they'll turn the house, we'll do another show.
What does turn the
Um,
house mean?
that audience goes and a new audience comes in.
Okay. Even if
It's a
it's
club thing. You couldn't obviously do it at a big concert venue, but a lot of clubs do it.
um, may I please suggest doing B in my video because it was you, Scott, Ray, Ike, was it? I would love, oh my God, please do B in my video.
We'll look at that. Yeah, because we are definitely going to add some stuff for Halloween. We'll probably add like Goblin Girl is a obvious
Yeah.
and what else it'll be. Yeah, and you know what might be interesting? At least part, if not all, of Drowning Witch. I mean, what's more Halloween than a witch?
Oh, that would be great. Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be paradise. It's gonna be great.
That
Are you
was
playing?
hilarious, man. I loved hearing Frank doing "Not even a witch ought to be caught on the bottom of America's spew-infested waterways," and that was the beginning of that whole long. It was hilarious. So we'll have to figure all that stuff out, and then it goes into some really challenging musical interludes in there as well. I mean, like alien orifice level challenge interludes. So it ain't no 3-chord blues.
Nope. Are you playing any horns at all?
Yeah, I play saxophone on of the 10 songs that we do. I play saxophone on half of them, on 5 of them. Not a lot anywhere, but just little flavors and colors and tastes here and there.
Wow. Is there any, is Amit, Ike was asking like, where's Amit? Is he gonna be there in LA
You
somehow?
know, I don't know. He might. I'm not sure if he's coming uh, to any of these last 4 shows or not. I really don't know.
Mhm. Wouldn't it be so amazing out in LA if you got like a couple more alumni and Dweezil and Amit and just like a big bang, you know, it would be
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we started the '84 tour, it was very different. I mean, tours invariably start in smaller markets. Like we'll rehearse for however long, depending on the tour. For Frank, it's at least a month of rehearsal. And then we'll go out on the tour, but we'll start with like Portland, Seattle, maybe Vancouver, come down through a little bit through the West, and eventually after the set is really tight and running smoothly and all that stuff, and lighting and sound and everything is all ironed out, Then it's usually scheduled so that you hit the major markets like LA, New York, Chicago, Miami, after you get to that stage in the tour. But 84, we started the tour in LA at the Palace Theater for like a week or five nights or something like that. So that was a big difference in the way the tour began. And because of that, just the the outflow of alumni and various people from the Zappa world over various periods that came out there was amazing. I mean, all kinds of people came and sat in, and so it was pretty wild.
Wow, that's going to be a hot ticket, those LA shows for sure. Plus, it's
Yeah, I wish it were a bigger venue, but you know, it's really great playing a baked potato. It's yes, it's a small venue, but that is part of its charm and part of its appeal, I think. And it's a really cool experience, both for us and the folks.
oh, I would love to see that.
Mm.
Um, well, and it's you live in LA, so it's not going to be hard for you to pop out there and
Yeah.
bring all your horns. French horn?
Yeah, no, I'll probably just stick to the saxophone. The only, you know, I rarely use the French horn. I used it on, well, if you look at the beginning of the Does Humor Belong in Music DVD in New York from 84, I'm playing French horn on that first song, and there's some video of that footage, and you can hear it in the mix and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
that's
But
why.
other than that, I hardly ever used it.
Hmm. But how many horns can you play? You told me once before.
Well, pretty much anything that makes noise. I mean, if you figure out, well, trumpet, for instance, is a three-valve brass instrument. So is French horn. They're not the same, but there are many things about them that are functionally the same because they're both three-valve brass instruments. So, you know, getting into that field, you can pick up other elements from that field, like trumpet or trombone or French horn. Trombone's a little bit different. It doesn't have, well, there are valve trombones, but you have to move that slide to change the length of the tube rather than add piping by pressing down a valve that adds a little bit more measure of pipe. If you press two valves down, that ends up adding more. If you push all three down, and that's the equivalent actually of the 7 positions on a slide of a slide trombone. 7, the position is way down at the end, and little kids have trouble with it. They mostly can't do it. My brother, I remember, started trombone in elementary school, but he got frustrated because his arm wasn't long enough to make 7th position, so they couldn't hit those low notes.
Can you play a
Accordion? It looks like
yeah.
you're doing an accordion. Yeah, to some degree. Again, it depends. Some of them are built differently. Some of them actually don't even have keys down the right side. They have buttons kind of like you have on the left-hand side on
Okay.
both sides. Although the mechanism is a little bit different over here.
So you're
So
saying they're more complicated than women?
they, well, yeah, maybe, I don't know. You've seen that meme about uh, engineers like analyzing a man versus a woman, and the man is like an on-off switch, and the
Yeah.
woman is like this insane, complicated diagram of this goes over here, and if this happens, this goes over here, and it's just nuts.
That's what the accordion sounds like to me.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Well,
and saxophones are the same. I mean, if you learn, most people start on what's called the alto saxophone, and if you can get that down, tenor is the next one bigger, the next a little different. Alto is the next one smaller. It looks like a straight, like a fat clarinet. Baritone is bigger than the tenor and has an extra hook and an extra longer bell, and that plays like the low end stuff. But yeah, they all function the same way. The fingering from one saxophone to the next is basically the same deal. So it's
and
not that crazy.
with this current Zappa tour, who would you say would be the lead singer? It's you and Ray?
There isn't one, like there was never in my experience just one lead singer with Frank. Not when I was in the band anyway, because I was always in there with either Ike or Ray or both Ike and Ray. So there were leads that moved around from time to time as well. Like 81 and 82, Ray was in the band, but Ike was not. So Frank had me sing songs that normally Ike would have sung, like Bamboozled and some things like that. And then in 88, when Ike was in the band, but Ray was not, he had me sing some of the things that Ray used to sing, like Illinois Anima Bandit and City of Tiny Lights and things like that, which was
Nice.
fun. It was great fun for me.
Yeah.
So there, but in my experience with Frank, there were at least two, if not, three really strong singers, all lead vocalists in their own right, but also all able to sing together like a powerhouse freaking vocal monster. That was also immensely fun.
So, but it's only the only two singing really are you and Ray right now, right? I mean, I've
Yeah,
never.
Mike. Mike does a pretty fair amount of three-part stuff with Ray and me. And Scott even sings some. Joe sings. Joe sings very well. Joe has he's got a particularly interesting falsetto voice. It sounds almost like Roy Estrada.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
cool.
And yeah, so he's real good at that. So we have, in addition to me and Ray, we have three other voices that show up.
I can't wait. The reviews have been like raving. No one has said anything but this was outrageous. The sound is great. You guys are tight. They're gay.
Yeah,
10 songs wasn't enough. They're like, ooh.
right. Well, it's better to leave them wanting more than oversaturated and bored or whatever. So yeah, it has been really good. It's been very gratifying as far as the response. It's nice because again, we're having a blast doing it. We're getting the responses. When I was a kid and first starting to go to concerts, I remember one of the things that I really enjoyed about a concert was not necessarily the star in the spotlight, but seeing what's going on in the rest of the band and watching them interact with each other and watching them respond to each other. That's a significant part of the show for me, is that interaction between the musicians that are doing it, especially when it's deep and intense and challenging stuff like we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how Zappa is. It's fun. I mean, it'll go from something very simple, almost headbangingly stupid, and then all of a sudden break into, brain hemorrhage kind of high information stuff that you can't comprehend, and you just kind of have to let it wash over you, and then try to sort it out later.
Yeah. I was listening to Concentration Moon earlier and I let a friend hear it and he's like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. Well, I'm
Right. Yeah.
like, it's not the craziest.
Yeah.
There's crazier stuff.
Well,
But
one of my first impressions of Frank when I first heard it, well, Freak Out came out in '66, which is the year I graduated high school. So me and my buddies that I played in bands with, we were very much aware of Frank from day one. In fact, I remember seeing him, that black and white Steve Allen show where he plays the bicycle.
yeah,
You've
that's
probably seen that.
yeah.
And so, right from the beginning, it was like, whoa, this is different. And one of the things that struck me was the way he voiced harmonies, not just with instruments, but with voices as well, was almost like you, I don't know, dropped a bomb on the score and exploded it out so that the middle parts ended up on the outside, the high and low, and the high and low parts got squeezed into the middle. And the voicings were all like, well, wait a minute, why isn't the soprano on top? And, just things that you would not normally do. And Frank did, and it was like, oh, cool.
Just
Another
because.
thing he liked, I hope we're not getting too technical here, but another thing that he really liked, if you listen especially to Florentine Pogan, the voicings in the band behind that, and a lot of times actually the voicings in the vocal harmonies, are down low, down in low register areas. And the thing is, when you take a chord and play that same chord, but move it lower and lower and lower. Eventually, it gets kind of hard to hear. It just gets all like, whereas it's a nice, easy sound to listen to when you play it in the middle of the piano. You take that same formation with your hand and put it down lower, and it's less clear. And it's a whole different impact, emotionally, psychologically, not just sonically. And he loved that sort of dark, rumbly sound of getting down lower and lower until you're just on, or maybe even past the edge of being able to make out what's going on, like an octave on a piano. The two notes exactly eight apart. You can take that down as low as you want, and it doesn't get strange. But other intervals, closer intervals, the lower you take them, the more kind of rumbly they sound. And Frank loved that. He loved to make that. And Pogan is a perfect example. If you listen to the band, it's like do 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 do. It's really low voicings, like low down on the clavinet and low down in the guitars. They're real twangy, and the bass is like whoa 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 whoa. It's just very cool. I love it. I love it. And that was one of the first things I noticed about Frank, was the way he voiced things in this kind of, I don't care if you're not used to this, you know.
Yeah, his way. Or
Yeah.
Broadway the hard way.
Broadway the hard way. Great.
I'm wondering if you can still get up as high as you could when it, like when I listened to Be in My Video and you're like,
No, I can't. I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm working on trying to regain that range.
can you do a
I mean,
falsetto?
when I was, I think it's from not singing enough. When I got into my 60s, I just wasn't singing enough, and lost some of that range. I still have good range and good power. I just can't do some of that insane stuff that you would not imagine an uncastrated human male could produce.
You're so high. I'm wondering, was that a falsetto or was that your like, so high?
Well, sometimes I did use falsetto if Frank wanted that sort of coloration to it, that tone to it. But the strange thing about my vocal development, when I was a teenager, I was a bass. I did not have any of that high stuff going on. And then it just started to develop in my late teens and early 20s. And by the end of my 20s, by my late 20s, I had developed just by working through it and singing in all those different areas, but never losing the low end. I developed this insane range. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I could sing as high in natural voice as I could sing in falsetto. You know, those high squeaky falsetto notes?
Yeah.
I could do them in natural voice as well. And that's just weird.
Yeah, because normally men, they can go up high when they're younger, and then when they get older, they lose it. So you're saying you got it after.
Well, yeah, because it was a growth and a strengthening, not like, yeah, that's how it worked for me. It got, well, they say that an opera singer doesn't really hit their stride until about age 35 or so. That's when they really start to become that, that wonderful lyric tenor or that contralto or whatever voice range they're singing in. And the voice really, really becomes, round and full and flexible. And you can just do anything you want, anything you could imagine, open your mouth and make that stuff come out. And that takes time to develop. It's very rare that you hear that in a really young voice, like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a freak of nature. I mean, just go in the Zappa group on Facebook and read about you. And you still look very fit and healthy, which is great, because in order to be in the music business, you have got to take care of your health.
Absolutely.
I remember you doing like one leg
squats.
One leg squats, like 60 of them.
Yeah, they call them pistol squats. Yeah. It's a real good exercise. You will develop not just strength, but balance and flexibility as well, or you can't do that. It's not just about pushing with your leg muscles. It's about bending things to having the flexibility to go down like that and having the balance to do it on one foot.
Yeah, and good knees.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have to say, I guess that I've been blessed that way with high functioning goodies to work with. I don't know
Yeah,
how else to put it.
good
Uh,
gene. So is there ever going to be another Zappanala? I mean, a
I
Zappanale.
sure hope so. I think there will be. My understanding is that there will be. So we'll see. I mean, they were hoping to have it this past summer, but and for a while there, it was looking like it might happen, but then things got weird again, and so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Because the lineup you have now, I mean, that and add a couple, that would be fantastic for you to headline like that.
Right, right,
And a
for
good
sure.
excuse for me to get back over to Germany. I'd love to be there and see you on stage again. And that'd be
Right.
good.
Well, you lived there.
I
You're one.
know, I know. I lived there half my life. I miss it. I miss the bread, but tell you, there's more freedom here right now than anywhere else, and I'm loving it. So,
There is.
and more live music too. More live music.
Yes. In
You know?
all my world travels, there is no other place I would rather live.
Yeah, me too. I've been everywhere too. Oh my
Yeah.
God, love it.
Yeah.
And I have friends all around the world, and they're like, "How are all these concerts going on? You guys are so lucky." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm very lucky."
Not bad.
Yeah, I still got it. I mean, if I had some bubbly, you would hear a whole bunch of it, but you know.
Well, you got to learn to just do it spontaneously, you know.
Yeah, well, I wasn't planned, you know. I mean, I
But I
can't.
mean, on command, actually, you got to
Oh no,
learn to do
I don't know how
it.
to do that. It just happened,
Right.
and
Yeah,
that's how.
I don't know how to describe it either. It's just a way of I can't say other than like swallowing the air, like uh,
But
uh,
those are just little tiny
uh.
ones.
Right now. But if I
Small ones.
swallow a bunch and hold it, it'll come out in one big wah.
I have never learned how to do that. I just get it from Pellegrino, or as I used to drink Diet Coke, but not anymore. You know, I can't do it on command. I'm not a burp puppet, but a
Right.
lot of guys challenge me on Instagram. They're like, I can burp on command. I'm like, good, but
Yeah.
you're not on a Zappa album, so there's that. All right,
Yeah.
hon,
I love it.
please
I love
don't
it.
ever get sunburn again. It's called
No.
skin cancer.
Oh, I
You know?
know. I know. It's bad. This is
Just call down
not
the front
acceptable.
desk and
I'm looking closely.
ask if they have aloe vera, you know. And I know it's late at night, but there might be a grocery store around. Try to get an aloe vera leaf.
Yeah, it is pretty late. I don't think it'd be
Or
possible
you can
tonight,
ask
but
the front desk, say, if you can't get it tonight, please have it delivered to my room as soon as possible in the morning.
right, right.
You know.
Okay, Mom.
All right, hon. Yeah, exactly, Mom. All right. Love you, Robert.
Love you, Daddy. Take
Good
care.
night, kitty.
Bye.
Good night.